What's up, YouTube? I have been procrastinating this weekend like a motherfucker. So, like I talked about in one of my last videos of how I wanted to have a schedule where I record on a Saturday, edit on a Sunday, and upload on a Monday. Well, it is Sunday afternoon at 7 o'clock at night, and I'm just now recording because I didn't feel like doing anything yesterday after I got all the stuff done that I needed to get done. And today it's just been too hot, or really I've just been lazy, not wanting to leave the house. So I was like, it's already 7, I gotta ride to get some footage, because I want to try and maintain my schedule as much as I can. So far I've been doing pretty good, so it's just one of those things where it's like, alright, I gotta do it. Even if I do it, you know, the night before this is supposed to upload. Plus, even when I tried to make it a shorter video, it still ended up being really long. So, yeah, so I still had to get up and force myself to come and record. Yeah, but even the other day when I was like, well, I'll just try to do this and this, I won't try to make it that long of a trip, it still ended up being about 20 to 30 minutes ride time. I can't remember exactly. I think about 25 minutes actually. But even still, all that cut down was still like a 14-minute video. So I go out, I'm like, because I think one of the main reasons why my videos end up being so long is because I can't really just ride through town or go through different places like some of the other motovloggers are that are in bigger cities. Because it's like, okay, I can either go through and hit a bunch of red lights and stop signs, or I can go 6 miles this way, you know, 6 miles this way and that way, and then all of a sudden it's a 40-minute trip, and I end up talking about stuff longer than what I want to talk about, and it just turns into a long video, or it's a long video that I could cut down to 2 short videos, which might start making a couple more of those, like maybe on Mondays do the short ones and on Fridays do the longer ones, or vice versa. I don't know, we'll see how it goes. This will probably end up being a decently long video. Hopefully I can edit it down, so who knows. Leave for Utah Thursday, so I got all those plans figured out and everything, which it worked out pretty good. As I said in my last video, because I recorded all that Wednesday after my results came out of when I was going to be leaving or where I was going, and as I told you, I didn't get picked for orders. So I had to call the detailer Thursday morning when I was planning to upload the video, and I didn't want to record and supply side in because I already had everything ready. Well, sat down to talk to her, and I was trying to go back over to the East Coast. I didn't want to go to California, or I wanted to try to avoid that. And where I did want to go to in Washington, it's really hard to find affordable housing. A lot of squadrons are moving up there, and the renters are pushing up the prices, so it makes it harder to find a decent place at a decent amount. So I was trying to go back over to the East Coast, you know, as I talked about before, and I ended up talking to my detailer, which is the person that picks where you're going, Thursday morning. Oh, I hate this. I've almost died on this road a couple times. But anyway, I talked to her Thursday morning, and she was like, well, we can't send you to the East Coast because it'd be too expensive. You're already on the West Coast, blah, blah, blah. But it'd be easier to send you to California. So I was like, well, if I have to go to California, I don't want to go to more, because it's pretty much just like this place, and I've had enough of the desert. Don't get me wrong, I love the mountains, and I know a lot of people over there, but I know if I go there, I won't be there long. I'd be getting out soon. So I was like, if I have to go there, I'd rather go to San Diego. Well, the detail was like, alright. She looked up some squatches there. She's like, cool, they're pretty high on the priority list. I'll message a person above me, and we'll see what we can figure out. She was like, I understand you've been trying to go to Washington. Is that still an option? I was like, yeah, that's my preferred place because the platform over California, but if I have to go to San Diego, or I have to go to California, I'd rather be San Diego, which the San Diego squadrons are higher up on the priority list to get somebody than those Washington ones. So plus it's closer and there's more stuff. It'd just be all around easier if I went up there. So I was like, alright, just let me know. She was like, yeah, I should figure out Monday usually, but it'll be kind of busy. I'm sure as you guys can tell, I love coming out to this place. I like it out here. It's relaxing, kind of away from everything. Pretty cool little hiking trail. I wanted to take the dogs out here this weekend, but like I said, I was just like, Man, this glare sucks. But yeah, like I was saying about the orders thing, and how Whitby is the second in priority to down in San Diego. She was like, more than likely it'll be easier for us to send you there. So yeah, more than likely I'll be in San Diego. Not only that, like I say, I explained, yeah, it's expensive to live down in San Diego, but at least in San Diego, they give you the basic housing allowance that you actually need to be able to live and all that down there. Whereas Whitby, they give you just the amount because of the renting inflation and all that, due to a lot of other squadrons going up there and it being on an island. So I'd rather not go to Commiefornia, because that's what it is. Mainly because of the gun laws and good lord, this road fucking sucks. Like I said, I'd rather not go there because of the gun laws and some of the restrictions that they have. But at the same time, if they're keeping me West Coast, that's the best option for me and my family. So I may not be able to have all the guns that I want and the freedom with that, but and I know I'd be able to stick it out for at least 2 years until I finish out my contract, and I can figure out if I want to re-enlist and be there for 4 years, or if I want to get out and head back home. There's a lot of different options that can go, but I figure 2 years can't be that bad, because I was thinking about it with the guns. Yeah, the gun laws kind of suck, but I know that I'd be able to make it work. And I think they have a military exemption thing with some of the guns, so I'd have to look into that, because it's like, yeah, I would love to bring my AR and be able to go out and shoot it out there like I can out here, but at the same time I also want my guns for protection. say if they have a law where I can bring it, but I just have to store it, alright, cool, I can make that work. Because most of my guns that are out of limits for them are like my fun shooting guns. My pistol is above their magazine limit, but I want to get a 1911, which is only 7 net rounds. So I'd be able to carry that. I wouldn't be able to play with my guns as much as I would like to. But the trade-off is I'd be down in the water with perfect weather year-round, unless the storm comes rolling in. So I'd be able to get the boat. I would be able to live adequately with the amount of money they give me. Because in the Navy, it's not like they give you a paycheck and you live on your own and all that. They have special pays, which they where you like pay you a base pay, or they give you, you know, your normal paycheck on base pay, and that's like what you pay like your car payment on if you go out to eat, trips, you know, stuff you're spending money. Then they give you BAS, which is your money for your food, which is a certain amount, and that's if you don't eat at the free places on base. Then they give that so you can buy your own food and cook for yourself, and you pay for your food. And then if they give you BAH, that's what you use for your rent, and it varies by place you go depending on what the housing is like. So like I was talking about the housing, California and San Diego is kind of better for me than Whitby is, at this moment at least. I mean, that could change whenever I decide to, if I decide to stay in and I go someplace else after San Diego. So we'll see how it goes. Like I said, they have trade-offs because I can't play with the guns, but I'll be able to have a boat, and I'll be able to do a lot more fishing than I am out here, of course. So it kind of trades off with itself, which is cool with me because thinking about it, I don't really go out and do as much shooting out here because to get out here, it's hard to get tags, it's expensive compared to back in Florida and Alabama and even Louisiana where my wife's from, where you just apply for the permit and you get it, and you have like certain limitations, but not like, oh, you have a tag and you only get $1 a year or something like that. Whereas I can get a boat, get my fishing license, I can go do that a lot more, just fish offshore. Like I said, it kind of works out no matter where I go. I just have to put up with certain things at each place. It's like I can have the guns and all that and the ocean in Whitby, but I'd be struggling to live and wouldn't really have much money to be able to afford the extra stuff, such as those things. Or I could move to San Diego where I can have a boat, but and actually be able to live, but my gun privileges are don't really exist. If you're watching this, I'm sure you know something about how California is, or you're from California. So, like I said, it's got its trade-offs. But I think if I do end up in San Diego, if I get the option to pick which ones, or she just says, hey, you're going here, you know, it's kind of the way it works sometimes. But if I do get the option, you know, I'll probably pick San Diego and deal with that trade-off. Because, yeah, I like what I like, but at the same time, I also got to be able to live and support a baby that's on the way. You know, after I kind of figure out what's going on and everything, then I'll probably look into selling this or trading it for a sports bike. Because it'd be a little bit more practical, because this is loud. Everything, well, sport bikes are loud too, but this is really loud because it's straight pipe 1200. So it's loud, but it's a different kind of loud. Plus it'd be a little more easier to lane split, because over there sometimes the traffic to get on base is hell, because there's so many people there, because it's a big Navy base next to another big Navy base. Because down there you have Naval Station San Diego, which is where all the ships are docked. Then you have Naval Station North Island, which is where all the helicopter squadrons are at for the entire West Coast. So it's two big bases in a big city, so traffic's hell. But in California, if you don't know this, you can lane split. So I'd get sport bike because they're a little bit easier to maneuver and everything. So it'd be a lot easier for me to cut in and out of traffic and be able to avoid a lot of it with this. Because yeah, Harleys are maneuverable, but they're not quite as maneuverable and narrow as sport bikes. And yeah, this can get up on it, but in bigger cities, I'd rather have a little bit more get up at the time, such as having a 600 or 1,000, and be able to get out of hairy situations if I have to. So I kind of have the option to do that, but we'll see how it goes. I might be able to keep both. I might have to trade in. It's all up in the air, right? Everything's up in the air, but that might be a change coming to the channel. Hopefully I'll be able to keep both, because I really do like this bike and it's fun to cruise on. But plus I'll be 2 hours from my best friend from high school, and at the same place with my best friend in the Navy, so it works out great. But this is where I'm going to end it here. I'm about to be back home. I just made an extra loop just so I could say that before I'm pulling up into the front yard again. But as always, guys, make sure you like, subscribe. Yeah, if you like it, share it with your friends, share it to other motorcycle pages and all that. Let me know if y'all guys want me to improve on anything. Other than that, later.